Lord Redgrave is outside almost every night coordinating our defenses. Such an example.
Are you all right, Jonathan?
Lord Redgrave has just ordered me to turn Aloysius Dawson, to make him my progeny.
I see. And how do you feel about this?
I'd like your advice on the matter.
The real question here is, why has his lordship given you this task?
Do you think it's some sort of trap?
Do you really want to know what I think about this?
I do, yes.
To make an immortal of a soulless blackguard like Aloysius Dawson will only lead to a disaster for London. The man is already dead inside.
Should I refuse? Perhaps politely suggest that Lord Redgrave turn the man into a vampire himself.
Don't you dare, my dear. According to what I've recently discovered, his lordship could kill you for even broaching the subject.
Really? Why?
I've recently found proof that the Earl of Bristol is of lesser lineage and only capable of creating skulls.
Please tell me more about...
As long as you lower your voice.
What would you have?
The man is dangerous. Did you know he plans to build a wall to separate the healthy rich from the sickly poor? Do not make him your progeny.
What would you do?
The man's dying already. Let the Reaper harvest the rotten fruit that is his soul.
Are you sure your information about Redgrave is correct? He says he's the progeny of the great knight William Marshal, who lived some 9 centuries ago.
That's a lie. Lord Redgrave is unable to create anything but skulls, if the poor souls survive at all.
How can you be sure the information was correct?
I made the acquaintance of a most interesting informer while investigating your maker, from whom I learned the truth about Lord Redgrave.
Why so vindictive? You suddenly sound like you're angry.
Forgive me, Jonathan. I hate myself for it, but I feel such pride in my discovery. I'm afraid I just can't help it.
Which is?
He did serve William Marshal, and yes, the blood he covets as a token does truly belong to that legendary knight. But he was never his progeny. His lineage is not so noble.
What would happen if I made Dawson an Ekon like myself?
You would add a powerful immortal into a suffering world. An immortal who already craves authority.
Maybe I could teach him control, like you taught me. Lead him down the right path.
Mr. Dawson spent his life searching for a way to cheat death. I'm sure he has spent decades dreaming of how he'd spend eternity as a tyrant.
Goodbye for now, Elizabeth.
Goodbye, my dear.
Understand.
Goodbye. It looks like vampires have to obey Mendel's laws when producing progeny. Powers pass from one generation to another. That's why Dawson wants me to sire him.
Step away, sir. Are you stupid?
I cannot enter. I should find another way to get into the neighborhood. I think this passage could lead me close to Aloysius Dawson's mansion.
Londoners are no match for me!
This is despicable. It's locked, all right.
Die! Die, newborn!
can't believe I'm doing this. I cannot enter.
Your blood is now mine! Show me your power, newborn! Your blood is now...
Louise's father was determined to find and save her. It's locked, all right. It's locked. I cannot enter.
disgusting asshole! Vampire or not, I'll never be your wife! Let me go, you bastard!
Your prey is mine now!
How long are you gonna keep me locked in here? Disgusting asshole!
This is my territory!
Vampire! I'll never be your wife! Let me go, you bastard!
Miss Teasdale, are you all right?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
My name is Dr. Reed. I managed to track you down thanks to your father.
So my father really was looking after me. This man, this vampire told me my father was dead. Is it true?
I'm afraid so, miss. I'm so sorry for your loss. But you are free to go, as your abductor is no more.
I suppose my jailer also killed my father, didn't he?
Thankfully, he did not search your father's corpse, where I found his notes describing where he might find you. You should read them.
I must find my father's body. He deserves a proper burial.
Goodbye, Miss. You should return to a safer...
Thank you for your...
Goodbye, Miss Teasdale. Good evening, Miss Price. I'm Dr. Reed.
Dr. Reed? Yes, of course. You are the doctor who healed me and my mum.
Good to see you too.
Oh, yes. I did not hurt.
Why?
I am helping my mother in her shop.
Why?
Oh no, most people are
I'm sure you...
I do the best I can.
What can you tell me of the people living nearby?
I don't speak to many people.
What can you tell...
Some of our regular...
Have you no...
No,
Does he not...
no. Mum said he was weird, always reciting poetry about a girl he'd met in Whitechapel. I wonder who this camellia may be.
Have you ever met the
Yes, a very strange man, not very nice.
What do you mean?
He said he was ready to pay good money for rare books, and then laughed at what we showed him.
Do you...
Oh yes, Doctor.
Do you...
No, I was just a baby then. My mother always told me how strong and good he was.
Do you ever think...
Oh no, Dr. Reed. Mama would...
Goodbye.
Good morning.
Dr. Reed,
Good
I
evening,
am
sir.
glad to see you again.
Good evening, Miss Price.
Dr. Reed, I didn't...
Always glad to see a former pet.
Too long indeed.
What can you...
I'm still managing.
Really?
Don't get me wrong.
Tell me more.
Who would marry an old bat?
Carol's gratitude is...
I'm taking care of my daughter as well.
But she'll probably leave you.
Why would she leave?
Have you noticed...
Other than you coming back to...
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss...
Have you not seen Carol since you returned?
So you're less afraid?
Some things never change. Carol is still too clumsy for her own good. Sometimes her innocence puts her...
Why would...
She does not realize how cruel life...
You...
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reed. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safer.
Do you know...
Everybody knows him. He's only...
Did he buy something from you?
No, he left quickly. He almost laughed at my goods. Mr. Dawson may be a rich man, but you can't buy good manners.
But isn't Aloysius Dawson known for his philanthropy?
That was before his brother Robert died in an aeroplane crash. Since then, the remaining twin has turned into a heartless tycoon.
May I look...
It's always a pleasure. I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
Good evening, sir.
I'm conducting an
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, from the...
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke...
I'm here on my own, sir.
Then we have the same objective, sir. The difference is, to catch my suspects, I use a magnifying glass and handcuffs instead of a microscope.
What can you...
I'm the one asking questions.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with a civilian, sir.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this.
And what about the...
We both know the situation.
Why are you...
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you...
I'd like to report a name, Inspector. Jeffrey McCullum. I'm afraid he's some sort of vigilante, trying to recruit an army of angry citizens.
Then I'll write the name down and transmit this intelligence to the appropriate office. Thank you, sir.
What are you...
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
Do you work alone?
Yes, the situation is difficult for the police.
What about the...
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
What are you
I have a missing woman, possibly abducted a few nights ago. Louise Teasdale. It seems you already found my other missing person, Mr. Tadao Kimura.
Tell me about Louise Teasdale.
She's a waitress. Her father...
Do you have any...
No. But I've...
What are you
I
investigating?
have a miss.
Tell
She's a what?
Do you have...
No.
Do you know...
Who doesn't?
What else?
Aloysius.
Tell me...
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sage...
What are you... Tell
She's a what?
Do you have...
No,
Do you need med...
I'm fine,
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed.
Dr. Reed? Dr. Reed?
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... Your name sounds familiar. And your face. Have we met before?
I think I would remember. So I suppose the answer is no.
That's odd. I'm certain I've already heard of you. My name is Pericles Baker. Does that mean anything to you?
I'm afraid not, sir.
The pleasure is mine.
Tell me about yourself.
We are waiting. Waiting for someone.
And why are you waiting for this person?
Because we need to leave this city.
Why do you want to leave the city?
I'm not really sure.
Can you tell me?
As you like asking questions, so...
Please, be my guest.
Do you like this city?
No, I don't.
I don't recognize it either.
And what do you...
I stopped working when I decided to leave.
But what...
Does it really matter anymore?
Tell me...
I just... don't...
Who are you waiting?
I really can't answer that question, since I don't know that person.
And why is that?
This person is mostly my brother's acquaintance. I don't even know his real name. Only that this man...
But why would you need this person's help to leave London anyway?
Well, I thought we should have left this cursed place already, but my brother convinced me to stay a while longer, and here we are.
What can you...
I've heard this is a man who has searched for his place...
Goodbye. Good evening, sir. I am...
Yes, please. Would you be kind...
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know? As important as where you are? Or who you are?
I suppose you're right.
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we need to leave this city immediately. And my brother...
May I ask...
I don't know.
You must have...
From what I have managed to understand...
May I ask why you've not...
I believe fear is holding us back.
What...
It's the only place I...
Why is that?
Because I'm not...
No, I'm...
Good for you. It's a good...
What can you...
He's older than me, I think.
Is that all?
Pericles is very attached.
Who are you waiting for, exactly?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be, then?
I don't know. A feeling? An event? An impulse? How can I tell? Something that would allow us to leave this trap.
I'm afraid I'm not following you. What kind of trap are you talking about?
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a...
Trap?
At least it will give us the...
What can you...
You should ask that question to my brother.
Goodbye. Good evening.
Why do I always have feelings of day...
Pericles, tell me...
Agamemnon is... naive.
At least you both have the same difficulty explaining what you're doing, and for what reason.
But is that not a common problem for all mortals?
What can you tell...
If you are searching for a pleasant chat, you should...
That's it?
That for the time being, true
Goodbye, Mr. Beck.
Hello again, Doc.
Goodbye.
Red River, A Song in the Dark, The
It's
Whispers of the
locked.
Sun. So many... Jonathan Reed. At last.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do.
You are the lead.
Primate of the Brotherhood of St...
The cards told you.
Yes, they tell me everything.
What can you...
I really don't know.
So, you see...
Oh, I can tell you...
Do the card...
No. It's...
Read my fortune, then.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you the mark of a strong being, so powerful it needn't even reveal its strength.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole.
Some believe...
Guard of Priwen, who else?
Did they steal?
A personal notebook.
Do you want your notebook?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad.
For how long have you been...
It was 15 years...
What do you make of Dr.
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated...
Can you read...
Are you sure you...
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 150 shillings.
Here is the money.
The alchemist. A wise and cunning mind who lives by lying to all but himself. He sells false promises and is proud of it.
How do you measure the amount of
I
blood?
told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible?
Vampire's fate is much more...
All right.
The walls of your prison have already been raised, Jonathan. But you will freely accept to be locked inside, full of hope for a better day.
May I ask...
Of course. But I must...
I'm...
It was 1801.
What was the nature?
Problem was that both sides...
Who...
That's precisely the kind of question I...
So you're not just...
Once upon a time...
How did you...
Swansea told me.
Mary did not deserve her fate.
Suffering is part of the immortal condition. Some prefer to lose their minds rather than face the simple truth.
How is... Is there...
Aloysius Dawson.
He's not the only one.
It's true. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900. Then his thirst for dark knowledge grew. I'm talking forbidden texts, readings which blackened his heart.
Goodbye, sir.
I rarely wander, yet it amuses me to converse with your kind. A red river, a song in the dark, the whispers of a sun. So many signs to interpret.
believe I'm doing this.
Dr. Reed.
What are you in?
Well, my two missing persons cases...
I was lucky enough to find them.
Why do I still have the feeling that you...
I don't think so. You had better... What are you in?
Well, my two...
Goodbye.
Goodbye. There's the only hidden killer around here.
It's locked, all right.
This is no place for a gentleman. This is not the place for you, sir. Are you deaf?
Dawson's mansion. Here I am at last. But the question remains, am I ready to make a dying man my progeny?
Finally you're here, Dr. Reed. What took you so long?
I had to pass several of your barricades and outposts to access your mansion, sir.
Death, pestilence surround us, and time is against me.
I see you've gathered some of the most expensive, albeit experimental, blood transfusion equipment available. All this could be so useful in a hospital.
Yes. Since Lord Redgrave sent me a doctor to perform my conversion, I thought you might find some of these devices useful.
Most thoughtful. But tonight I'm not here as a physician.
but I feel reassured that a specialist such as yourself would help me to escape the Reaper.
Very well. But before I proceed, I have a few questions for you.
If you must, but be quick, for I don't have much time left in this life.
First of all, I need to be sure that you know exactly what is going to happen to you, sir.
I can assure you I'm as informed as any man can be. I have planned for this moment, Dr. Reed. Planned very carefully.
Sir, I'm going to end your life. Do you not wish to discuss the procedure for even a minute?
I don't have a minute to indulge in idle chatter. I can't feel my legs, and the cold, so cold.
I will become your maker. Do you understand what that means?
Well, I certainly won't consider you my liege, or some such drivel. You can be assured of that.
You'll need to feed on warm blood. Blood from mortals. How do you feel about that?
I'm rich, Dr. Reed, and powerful. I'm sure I'll be able to acquire all the blood I need without ever having to sully my own hands.
What do you know about...
What I do know is that I'll crush anyone or anything that would dare to oppose me.
Let's move on then.
Please, I'm cold and tired. I feel my life waning with every moment.
But first, before you embrace immortality, what would you do with such a gift?
That's a rather impertinent question, Dr. Reed, and I will do as I please.
Answer me all the same. What will your first action be as an immortal?
To save London. I will finance the most efficient quarantine ever seen. I will build a wall that will separate the sick boroughs from the healthy ones.
You really plan to build a...
Yes, it will be taught.
Let me...
This is a desperate...
By doing so, you will...
Come, sir. An eminent doctor like...
Who gave you the...
My money. My man...
Quarantine is not a bad idea, medically speaking. But I'm convinced this epidemic will not be contained by mere walls.
As long as the right people are on the right side of the wall, that's all that matters.
But you can't guarantee infection.
The apocalypse is already not.
What if it...
That won't happen. As long as we...
I've heard enough. It's time to proceed.
At last. All right, do what you have to do. If it hurts, so be it. I've been preparing such a long time for this.
Are you ready for immortality, Mr. Dawson? Drink now, and say farewell to life as you prepare to be reborn.
What do you mean, drink? What about the blood transfusion?
I'm the doctor and the vampire here, so I'll give the orders. Drink, sir. Now.
All right.
Good. That's enough. That's enough, I said.
I will not die. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, no. You will die, sir. Steel yourself. You're already in death's grip.
it done, Dr. Reed?
Yes, my lord. Ascalon has a new...
Wonderful news.
Thank you, my lord.
No, thank you, Dr. Reed. Now, could you do me one last favor?
Of course. What is it?
Go outside and talk with that disgusting creature I saw waiting for you in front of this mansion.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'll have a look.
Good. I didn't kill her on the spot, for she claims to be a... Thank you, Lance-Bearer. I shall take care of our new member when he awakes.
We meet again at the strangest of times, young Ekon. So do you serve the Earl of Bristol now?
Old Bridget. What are you doing here?
Your friend, the wise Ekon. She sent me to warn you.
How did you meet?
She came to us in the sewers and...
What kind...
I knew nothing of your maker, but we talked. We talked a lot. Her words and ideas are captivating. It is no surprise that you like her. I like...
Lady Ashbury in the sewer.
She said she was your friend.
Did anyone...
Who said I took the streets?
Lady Ashbury?
The lady approached me but a few nights ago, wanting to meet the sewer skulls. Once she questioned Harriet Jones. She agreed to help us.
Harriet Jones is still with you then? How is she doing?
Harriet remains angry, but is recovering slowly. Her mind is twisted, but at least her body is healing.
Tell me what is going on.
The lady asked us to keep an eye on your mortal doctor friend while you were away. We spotted the hunters. They were discussing plans to attack tonight.
Wait, slow down.
I'm listening, but I do...
Where...
She said she will go home.
How did Elizabeth...
She presented herself humbly at our gate and asked if we knew of any ancestral vampires hiding in London. She asked about Ascalon. She asked about...
What do you...
Her soul is good, yet tainted.
Why did she...
I am old Bridget.
Why do I...
Because I used to know him quite well. And he is afraid I may remember who he really is.
You're Elizabeth's informant. You're the one who told her about Lord Redgrave's lies regarding his lineage.
Yes, but my words were not meant to hurt or threaten. I simply told the story of the sewer skulls, and of so many other forgotten children.
No time to lose, then.
I shall return to my den. Have you a message?
Tell her I worry about her.
Do not, for she has had... You better go now to the Pembroke Hospital.
London vampires are so weak! You're mine!
This is despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this. This is despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Step away, sir.
Christ the leech, boys! I'll send you to hell!
I hope the wall of Aloysius Dawson successfully keeps the epidemic outside the West End.
I've heard you were investigating the origin of the epidemic. You would better hurry, Dr. Reed.
Don't you see we're trapped? What if McCullum decides to launch a full-scale attack against us?
Thanks to you, we have a new powerful member, Dr. Reed.
Why can't I forgive
Elizabeth.
It is also good to see you in these dark...
Indeed, we stand upon the
No. I returned home.
Your friend, the well-informed old Bridget, tells me the Guard of Priwen has assaulted Pembroke. I fear Edgar tops their bloody list.
Bridget? She is such a tragic figure. And yet, I sense deep inside, she has a delicate, fragile soul.
What are you hiding? You went...
Indeed, Jonathan. I seek the truth, just as you do.
I was concerned for your safety. McCullum draws too close to you for my comfort.
Fear not. I've evaded the hunters for many a year, and I intend to stay far from their gases, flames, and spikes. Now, speak to me of Dawson.
Old Dawson is now my progeny, as per the schemes and desires of Ascalon.
Jonathan, what have you done? He was a beast when human. Didn't I warn you enough what a monstrous vampire he would be?
Indeed you did. And for your advice, you have my gratitude. But I'm part of Ascalon now. I swore an oath to king and country.
You did what you thought was right at the time. One can ask no more. The important task now at hand is to help poor Edgar.
Now I am assured of your safety. That is precisely my intention.
Good. Now go, my...
It is I.
I'm all right, Jonathan.
It's locked, all right. What is this truck?
It's elite!
Are the
Kill
vampire
it!
hunters here?
Mine! I'll take it. Send you to hell! Die, burning!
Hey, Doc.
Are you all right?
For a second I thought the bastards were here for me. They had guns and everything. Maybe they're a new gang trying to expand.
I'll leave you. Good evening, Dr. Tibbets.
Dr. Reed.
Are you okay?
Yes. Can you believe it?
Is anyone hurt?
No, but Dr. Swansea is missing. I believe they wanted money or drugs. Maybe these brutes will ask for a ransom.
Goodbye, Dr. Tibbets. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Are you all...
I'm okay. I don't...
Do you think he's been...
Yes. There's been shouts in it.
Goodbye, Nurse. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor.
Are you all right?
For months I said this day would come.
Goodbye.
The pain.
Good evening, Mr.
Evening.
Are you all right?
Yeah. I heard them.
What did they do?
They went upstairs and arrested Dr. Swansea. They argued for a few seconds and then...
Goodbye. Good evening.
I need blood, Doctor.
Are you all...
They were vampire hunters, and they were looking for me. Bless poor Dr. Swansea, they beat him, but he didn't say a word about me.
What did they...
They wanted Dr. Swansea to confess his guilt and admit to relations with blood drinkers.
They hurt...
Yes, I hide in the shadows, but I've heard them.
You're gonna be fine.
I'll leave you. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Are you...
Poor Dr. Swansea.
Where is Dr...
I don't know.
Goodbye. Those bastards. What have they done to Edgar? Looks like he's wounded. I better follow the blood. McCullum and his thugs are taking the credit for Edgar's abduction. They really mean business.
Ultraviolet curtains and orichalcum powder. Dr. Swansea's always been a resourceful bastard. I bet he never told you he had this installed in case of a vampire attack. Says a lot about how much he trusts you.
What have you done with Edgar?
Don't worry. We don't kill humans. Even if your friend is deserving of a little punishment for one.
What are you talking about?
We know everything. Swansea and you created this bloody epidemic. You aim to unleash another disaster just like William Marshall did.
No! I'm trying to put an end to it. Just like you are.
You're the progeny, aren't you? Where is the monster hiding? It's still in England, isn't it?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Jeffrey, please listen to me.
No tricks. That shit won't work on me. We've found proof in the theater. Doris Fletcher was your first experiment. Now where is Marshall? Speak! So much for modern technology. Time for the tried and true. Do you know what this is, Beast? This is a drop of King Arthur's blood. The blood of a true defender of Britain. Stronger than your evil powers.
This is ridiculous. We're losing precious time.
True enough. Soon I'll bring your head before your coward of a father. Come on, close your eyes! This is gonna hurt. I'll pin you down! Freewind prevails! Your poisonous bite is useless on me. Show some style. Fight like a man. The blood of a true defender of this land will protect me. Freewind prevails! I know! It hurts, doesn't it? Your poisonous bite is useless on me. Close your eyes! This is gonna hurt. True light will cleanse you. We are the guardian of justice. Priwen shall prevail.
You can't accept the fact we're not enemies, can you?
We always have been, and we always will be. Of all the evils that threaten mankind, your kind are the worst.
I was only reborn for a few minutes before you and your men hunted me down like a beast.
You were only reborn for a few minutes, and you'd already taken the life of an innocent woman.
There is no way you'll ever let me be, McCullum. You'll always hunt me down, won't you?
There is no escape, Leech. Kill me now, for there is no way you can sway me to your ideals.
That's where you're mistaken.
What do you mean?
I'll make you a vampire. I'll make you one of us!
No! Kill me!
Prepare yourself, Hunter. You're about to be hunted, just like me.
No! No!
When I kissed my poor man goodbye, I had no idea what I was doing. But now I do. Consider this my kiss of Judas. Welcome to the world through the looking glass. Good evening, Xiaoshu.
晚上好, Dr. Reed.
How...
My only relief is that my...
Goodbye. So Priwen never left Doris's theatre after they invaded. They must be holding Edgar here in their new headquarters. is despicable. It's locked. Doris Fletcher was about to become a disaster. I'm getting close to having all the evidence. It's locked, all right. It's locked, all right. I should find the key to that box. Blood of a pure heart, garlic, blood of a king. I don't understand. Perhaps this is what McCullum drank. I had better keep that in mind. Edgar. Edgar, can you hear me?
Jonathan, is it really you?
Easy. Easy. Save your strength. I'm getting you out of here.
Don't try to spare me. As a physician, I know all too well when it's too late. Punctured lung, broken ribs, and internal bleeding. An accurate diagnosis, wouldn't you say?
Edgar, what happened?
They wanted me to confess. Beat me black and blue.
Geoffrey McCullum ambushed me at the Pembroke Hospital. He was convinced you and I were responsible for the Skal epidemic.
I never imagined that self-righteous fanatic would dare to attack us in the open. What became of him?
I put him in a somewhat delicate position when I made him an immortal.
Really? Are you sure that was the wisest course of action?
Time will tell. The most intriguing part of his accusation was that you and I were the pawns of some ancient vampire.
William Marshall. Yes, they tortured me to make me confess the same nonsense.
I think you're hiding something, Edgar.
What do you mean?
William Marshall, for example. You speak of him as if you know him. How is that?
Jonathan, I cannot say I'm ready for another round of questions.
What can you tell me?
Not much.
Why is...
He was the only ancient vampire to escape the
Why would he...
I cannot say.
Why would the gut...
Maybe due to our
While investigating the epidemic, I read some of McCullum's findings. I think you have some explaining to do.
I have nothing to hide, Jonathan. Nothing at all.
Do you know Doris?
No, I'm afraid not.
Her real name was Doris Jones. She was the...
What do you want me to say, Jonathan?
Do you remember when we suspected
Yes.
Harriet Jones faked her own death. When I found her in the sewers, she confessed she wanted everybody to pay for what happened to her.
That woman was extremely bitter, full of hatred and festering anger.
Doris Fletcher visited her mother at the Pembroke Hospital. That's how she first got infected.
I know nothing about that. Miss Fletcher once came to visit the sick. That is all I know.
No, Edgar, there is more. Doris Fletcher was Harriet Jones's daughter. They exhibited the same symptoms: blind hate and strong physical mutation.
What does this sad story have to do with us?
Come on, Edgar. Don't you see the pattern here? The epidemic, the link between Doris and Harriet, the suspicion of McCullum?
How could I? I never saw Harriet Jones again after she fled the hospital.
Do you know where we are? Doris Fletcher's theater. This is where that hateful creature plotted to spread the epidemic across London.
I only briefly met Miss Fletcher once when she visited the Pembroke Hospital. You say it was to see her mother. She seemed like such a sweet and graceful woman.
My point exactly. The disease turned her into a bitter soul, driven by vengeance just like her mother. A symptom of all the infected patients.
Certain diseases are known to produce...
Doris and Harriet shared more than a hidden family bond. They were the embodiment of the epidemic and are linked to the Pembroke Hospital. Come on, Edgar, this is no coincidence.
I swear I'm at a complete loss. All I did was administer vampire blood to cure old Harriet. There was no evil plan, no diabolical plot.
You did what?
I tested the regenerating and healing properties of vampire blood on Harriet Jones. My only intention was to find the cure for influenza, I swear.
Whose blood did you use? William Marshall's? Mine?
Lady Ashbury's. While transfusing her with human blood, humanely appeasing her hunger, I also kept samples of her blood for my research.
You used her blood on Harriet Jones? My God, Edgar, that's unethical. You betrayed 2 of your patients at the same time.
Right, I admit it. I boldly ventured into experimental realms, but I've killed no one to appease my thirst for knowledge, Jonathan. I'm no murderer.
I never asked to become what I am, Edgar. You chose to conduct your rogue experiments.
You have worked beside me. You saw what I'm doing at Pembroke Hospital. Jonathan, you know I'm not an evil soul. Just another victim of this tragedy.
No, Edgar, you are not going to die. Unless you want to.
What do you mean?
I can save you, Edgar. I can turn your broken body into one like mine.
You truly would? After all I've done, after all that's been said, you would offer me this gift?
I have no way of knowing which punishment would be worse, Edgar. But it is not for me to decide. So?
Oh, please, Jonathan, please. I beg you. This is what I've always wanted. This is what I've always searched for.
Very well, then. Prepare to die and be reborn. To face an eternity of guilt.
I'm ready. Oh, indeed, I am ready.
Enough!
Stay close, guys.
Return at a more convenient time. So Harriet Jones became the original carrier when Edgar gave her vampire blood. I must tell Elizabeth.
I'll send you to hell! There's one of them vermin! Back in the drive! Put an end to you!
What good fortune brings you back to me, Jonathan? What is it, my dear?
I'm afraid it's bad news, Elizabeth. The worst, actually.
Please, speak up.
Edgar is no longer in McCullum's grasp. I resolved that matter.
Where is our good friend now? Is he well?
Of a sort. His injuries were mortal. I had no choice but to make him one of us. To save him, or to punish him.
To punish him? I fail to understand. And what is the source of this cold tone in your voice?
Edgar Swansea was responsible for the Skal epidemic, Elizabeth. It was he who unleashed the deadly scourge upon London.
What? Are you certain? This is the most terrible accusation of all.
He confessed everything to me. He sought to cure the disease, to exploit vampire blood to stop the epidemic. But he unwittingly gave birth to a catastrophe.
All those poor victims. How could he do it? What happened?
Edgar gave no heed to ethics. His theory could have been proven to be correct, but he abused the confidence of his patients to test it.
I must say I'm shocked, Jonathan. Who would have thought it? And the poor patient. Let me guess. It was Harriet Jones, was it not?
Yes. That explains how Doris Fletcher was infected, and how she became an Ichor. She secretly visited her mother at Pembroke.
Then we have no choice. We must act quickly, Jonathan. We must return to the sewers and put an end to the threat poor Harriet embodies.
I have one more matter to discuss with you. Harriet Jones was the primary case, but do you know what a healthy carrier is?
There is a tone in your voice that frightens me, Jonathan. What are you trying to say?
It was your blood Edgar used for his experiment on Harriet Jones.
What? No. No. This can't be. Oh.
Elizabeth, are you all right?
No, I have to go.
What do you mean?
Leave me alone. Save the city, Jonathan. Save what can be saved.
Elizabeth, I need answers. Why did your blood
Stay
cause
away
this?
from me. Please. I swear I never was your
Wait!
enemy.
No! Elizabeth! It's locked. Now would be a good time to blend the recipe Marshall used when he fought the disaster. I think I know where to find what I need.
Don't come closer, sir.
monster!
The beast just die! Bastard! Go on back to the shadows! I'll take it! Look at it! Vicious bugger! It's a leech! Kill it! Watch yourselves! There's one of them!
Hey! How's the situation?
As shitty as always.
I'll leave you for now. Good evening, Doctor.
Dr. Reed.
How are things?
Dr. Swansea seems changed.
Changed?
I don't know.
Is that...
Yes.
Goodbye, Doctor.
Jonathan, my dear.
Thank me. For what?
Come now, you know what I mean. I am... well, I'm just like you.
I'm glad you like it.
How could I not be happy? You offered me the ultimate freedom. More than I ever could have dreamt of.
Have you news of Jeffrey McCullum?
He left the hospital without being treated.
Does not the prospect of meeting him as a vampire thrill you? The two old enemies reunited post-mortem.
Maybe we could even share a glass of...
How do you...
Absolutely fine. Did you know I can determine the health of every patient or nurse just by looking at him? Fascinating.
Have you taken...
Don't you think that's a private matter? I would not ask you such an indiscreet question.
Do you...
Yes. It's very peculiar.
What will you...
Experiment, my dear colleague.
My God, Edgar.
I have, I swear. No more...
What kind?
Who knows? Nervous shock, brain damage, pain and recovery. There's almost no limit to what my body can now endure. I could be the next Henry Head.
Will you
Of course. I can help more than ever.
Are you not...
I remain a man of peace.
Have you seen Elizabeth? Has she passed this way since you returned?
No. And I'm terrified to see her again. I really am, Jonathan. She could very well tear me to pieces for what I did.
Goodbye. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are...
I must admit, the situation is better. We still have to deal with the epidemic.
Goodbye.
Good evening.
Are things...
Dr. Swan...
What do you think?
I'm glad, sir. We spent too many weeks facing death and disease without really taking security measures. It's good to have him back.
How dare you?
These people are dead, sir.
Whatever your motive...
No offense, sir. But
Goodbye, man. I cannot use garlic, but there may be a substitute in the Pembroke Hospital drug storage.
best run along home, sir.
There it is. Insulin. Much more efficient than garlic against blood poisoning and sepsis, and much less dangerous for me. Thank you, Dr. Polescu.
Please,
See
sir,
them
can't
fancy
let you through.
clothes? This one's a top! Mine, I'll take it. It's one of them!
Die, vermin!
If McCullum really drank the blood of King Arthur, then I may have found another
Last
vital
warning,
ingredient
sir!
for my recipe.
It ain't human! Kill it! Murdering bastard! On back to the shadows! The blood of a true defender of this land will protect me. If you're so innocent...
Good evening, Vampire Hunter.
Are you here to mock me, Reed?
Not at all, McCullum. I am here because I need you.
Really? I'm intrigued. Speak up, then.
I need the blood of a king. The blood of Arthur. I'm certain you possess it, and I must have it.
The Guard's most sacred and precious relic. Why would you? You found Marshall's memoirs. I should have destroyed that book.
I need the antidote to save this city, McCullum.
It is within me to take your words as truth. I want to, but I must know more. What precisely are your plans?
A creature called a disaster is about to be unleashed. It falls upon me, as once it did Marshall, to stop it before the whole country is ravaged.
I should have destroyed that book. And yet... I wish I could join this battle alongside you. But this crusade is not mine to fight.
Do you not understand? We wanted the same thing from the outset. A means to end this vampire epidemic.
Not enemies. Maybe that is so. Take it then. I see no other hope for this city. If this is some trick, you will be damned, Dr. Reed.
Thank you.
Indeed. Why not?
Why are you...
The man who raised me after the brutal murder of my parents. He's buried here.
Were both your parents killed by vampires?
Yes. And yet worse. My father returned to Dublin a vampire and tore out my mother's throat.
And who was...
Carl Eldritch. One-time leader of Prewin. He killed my father in front of me. Helped me hunt my brother Ain after teaching me how to kill leeches.
How are you
I feel so powerful it gives me shivers. I could be the greatest vampire hunter ever. Your worst nightmare, in truth.
Will you leave the Guard now that you are what you are?
Are we not creatures of deceit? I could hide my nature from my men, or name a successor. Go my own way. I know not yet my path.
Will you
Not for now. But you had better behave.
Farewell.
Do not stretch your luck, Reed.
Sorry, sir. No admittance. It's mine! I'll take it! Steady, boys. We've got one of them! It's one of them!
Back, demon! Back!
Hello again, Miss. Good evening.
And good evening to you too.
I'll leave you up.
Some of us come to this world.
Good evening.
Surely.
See them fancy clothes? This one's a top!
Whose blood could be purer than that of William Marshall? Lord Redgrave will have to...
Welcome back, Dr. Reed.
Welcome back, my immortal peer.
Good evening, Aloysius. How do you feel?
Mr. Dawson to you. You may be my maker, and I thank you for that. But we must not forget etiquette.
Forgive me, sir.
You're forgiven, my dear doctor. And if you need anything, even the most expensive items to help you in your mission, you just have to ask. I'll be glad to sell you some of the rest.
How?
People keep on getting sick.
What is this?
Lord Redgrave has just informed me.
The vampire hunters are dangerous, sir.
Bah! Nonsense!
Is Lord Redgrave?
Yes.
What is the Lord? What is your...
My future and the future...
Would it...
I have ordered the assassination of my entire family to ensure I'm the sole heir to my fortune. I can't take the risk of facing another immortal Dawson.
When will...
We should gain total control of Europe and the West...
Are you already...
Of course not! My...
Tell me about...
Sod off! I don't...
I beg your pardon?
You heard me. And remember, I already wear a protective amulet against your mental intrusions, Dr. Reed. I've studied your species for decades.
How do you feel?
I think I may have acquired and read every forbidden document about vampires and how it feels to be an immortal. I even own a copy of the Blood Bible, but nothing compares to...
What is...
It's supposedly the only documented evidence that an immortal attended the Last Supper. You should read it.
What have you...
That mortals are but puppets in our...
I may need...
All count on you now, Dr. Reed.
Don't you see we're trapped? What if McCullum decides to launch a full-scale attack against the club?
Good evening, Lord Redgrave.
Welcome, Lance-Bearer. To what do we owe this pleasure?
I've located the true origin of the epidemic, and I'm about to end it.
Good. We've held out thus far, but the time has come to put an end to this crisis. Tell me, what do you need?
The blood of William Marshall.
The blood of William Marshall? Of my maker? Are you mad? This blood is the purest of all. My maker proffered it to me on the battlefield. I cannot hand it to you.
Stop this farce. Marshall never was your maker. I have no idea how you acquired his blood, but I need it now.
I see. Well, in that case, given the gravity of the situation, I suppose I can spare you a drop.
Thank you, my lord.
Now go, Lance-Bearer. Craft a legend to be sung to Ascalon recruits for the ages to come. You again?
I have a few...
You hold in that vial the most sacred...
It's locked.
Thanks to you, we have a new powerful member, Dr. Reed.
Support the equality between...
Good evening.
And good...
What is your opinion?
All I know...
Why do you still...
It's the immortal aspect of...
You're obviously a clever woman with a good education.
Is it not true of every high position?
Your mother has refused...
Each time we argue, Mother...
It's your...
I love my...
Does it bother you?
No.
Your mother...
But why shouldn't I be a...
Do you need my...
Indeed.
Oh, you...
My mother...
Tell me, Charlotte.
I won't give up.
That's a disturbing answer.
There are less dangerous ways, Doctor. Instead of throwing myself under a horse like Emily Davison, I could just throw myself into your arms.
Be careful what you wish for, young lady. I could gaze at you right now and then take you to a shady corner and have my way with you. And leave your carcass to the rats.
You wouldn't dare. My mother would know. She'd never forgive you.
How could she suspect me? Do you know how many vampires are lurking in the city tonight as we speak? Vampires with a worse sense of humor than mine.
Oh, my God. For one second, I thought you actually... Excellent, Dr. Reed. Very convincing.
Goodbye, Charlotte.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Yes?
Do you need medic...
I won't refuse.
Here is your...
Thank you.
Goodbye, Avery.
Of course.
your sweet boy.
Hello again.
Jonathan!
Do you...
Yeah.
Do you need...
Oh,
I think you should take...
I'm not sure.
Goodbye, Mother.
Goodbye, sir.
The blend seems stable. Time to go and find Harriet in the sewers. This place has been ransacked. They've all been slaughtered. Pre-one? No, not their style. Where has Harriet gone? She must have left a trail I could follow.
Take not a step further, child, for you are unprepared.
You, at last. I wondered when you would show your face again. Step away. We have nothing to discuss.
Desist, child. You cannot confront the monstrosity unleashed upon this land without due preparation. I shall not allow it.
All right. But no more riddles.
My words have been as clear as crystal lakes, my child. You seem unwilling to drink, to listen, to learn.
What is your
I do not understand. This is who I am.
Blood? You are made of blood. Surely you are joking.
Why would I? And no, I'm not made of blood. I am blood. Blood is what I am since my birth and for eternity.
But who are you really? Tell me your name.
I am your maker. I am the servant of the Red Goddess and protector of this land. I have many names.
Just give me one, then.
There are those who call me Merdin Wild, the Wild Horned Man. But I never was a man. I was born out of blood.
Why?
Only you could provide a modern...
What kind?
Disease, contagion, and...
Speak to me.
The blood of hate. Vessel of the wrath of the goddess. When she awakens, a disaster will be born into this world, for she is hunger and anger.
I'm here to stop Harriet Jones. She is the original carrier. The well from which this corruption flows.
I have heard you, but be wary. Harriet Jones's mind is no more. She has metamorphosed into an apocalypse. Born from, drenched in, and driven by the blood of hate.
What is...
It is the curse of the goddess.
Tell me about this.
A disaster is pure anger, born through...
And who...
She is the Red Goddess, the Queen of Blood. In my youth, 100 lifetimes ago, she was worshipped as the Morrigan. She is my mother. She is yours, too.
The Morrigan? The Celtic goddess of war? Is this a ruse of some kind?
She has been worshipped in many forms throughout the ages. The true nature of the Red Queen is beyond your comprehension, eluding even mine. But know this, she is a vengeful mother.
So
That's your modern answer.
Tell me what it is then, in your own words.
A disaster is the...
I only wish to...
To perform an act so noble, you must protect yourself from its poisonous kiss, my child.
I know. McCullum used such a serum when trying to kill me. However, I have produced a more efficacious version of the antidote.
Your final task awaits you at the end of these tunnels. I've known for ages you were worthy of this challenge, my champion, Bittersweet.
What will...
Your fate, my child.
Will it be over then?
Yes. The threat will dissipate.
And then what? What will become of me?
How would I know? I am no...
You tricked me.
Very soon you'll come to know. Be brave, my child.
These poor skulls didn't stand a chance.
Oh, I'm sick. So sick. Doctor, help me, please. I'm in such pain.
I'll be glad to be of assistance.
Ah, like your help, Doris. Liars! All of you! My poor baby. I've been such a bad mother. But the Queen herself forgave me. Gave me another chance.
Harriet, you must stop all of this. I can't let you infect anyone else.
How dare you interfere with the Red Queen's plans, Doctor? How can you stop the course of nature? Poor baby! Where is she now? They took my daughter from her! Nobody ever helped me. I've been alone all my life. My poor baby! Where is she?
going to suffer now!